Have you ever felt like giving up? Like the world is against you and every door you knock on remains stubbornly shut? If so, I want to tell you a story. It's a story about a boy named Arjun, a boy who knew the bitter taste of failure better than anyone. Arjun had a dream. It wasn't a simple dream like scoring the winning goal or acing a test. No, Arjun dreamed of building a machine, a magnificent, complicated, and, in his mind, world-changing machine. He gathered scraps of metal, old wires, and discarded gears. His small workshop filled with the sound of clanking, and his heart filled with hope. He started his first attempt with a burst of excitement. He sketched out his designs, his pencil flying across the page. He spent days twisting wires, soldering joints, and fitting pieces together. But when he finally flipped the switch, nothing happened, just a disappointing click. He felt the sting of disappointment, but he shook it off. It's just the first try, he told himself. So, he took it all apart and started again. His second attempt ended with a puff of smoke. His third, with a loud, embarrassing bang that made the neighbor's dog bark for an hour. The fourth, fifth, and 10th attempts were no different. Each one ended in failure. Soon, the failures started piling up. 20 failures, 30, 50. The people around him started to notice. At first, it was just curious glances. Then came the whispers. The kids in his neighborhood would peek into his workshop and snicker. "Look at Arjun, the dreamer," they'd say. "He's still playing with his junk." Even some adults, meaning well, offered their advice. Arjun, his uncle, would say, patting him on the shoulder, "Maybe it's time to try something else. You're a smart boy, don't waste your time on this foolishness." Every laugh felt like a tiny needle prick to his spirit. Every doubtful look chipped away at his confidence. He failed more than 100 times. 100 times he poured his heart and soul into his creation, only to be met with silence, smoke, or a shower of sparks. The pile of failed prototypes in the corner of his workshop grew into a metallic mountain, a monument to his repeated defeats. The world saw a boy who couldn't get anything right. They saw 100 failures, but they didn't see what happened after everyone left. They didn't see Arjun alone in his workshop, his face smudged with grease and his eyes tired but not empty. Every night, before he fell into an exhausted sleep, he would look at his half-finished machine and whisper to the quiet darkness, "Just one more try." These 4 words became his mantra, his lifeline. They were the fuel that kept his fire burning when everything else was trying to extinguish it. Just one more try. It was a promise he made to himself, a defiance against the chorus of doubt that echoed in his ears. But there came a day when even those 4 words felt hollow. It was his 101st attempt. His tools were worn, his fingers were calloused and sore, and his savings for new parts had completely run out. He had put the last piece into place, his heart pounding with a familiar, fragile hope. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and flipped the switch. For a moment, there was a promising hum. His eyes flew open, wide with anticipation. But then, a loud crack echoed through the workshop, and a crucial gear shattered into a dozen pieces. That was it. That was the final straw. The weight of 101 failures came crashing down on him all at once. He sank to the floor, his back against the cold wall, and buried his face in his hands. The laughter of the other kids, the well-meaning but discouraging words of his relatives, his own mounting self-doubt, it all swirled into a storm inside his head. Tears of frustration, anger, and utter exhaustion streamed down his face. They were right, he thought. I am a fool. I should have given up long ago. He looked at his broken machine, at the mountain of his past failures, and decided he was done. He was going to quit. He was going to throw it all away and just be a normal kid. As he sat there, shrouded in the darkness of his workshop and the deeper darkness of his despair, a small, quiet voice whispered from within. It wasn't loud or demanding. It was just a simple, steady thought. Winners are not made in the spotlight. They are forged in the darkness when no one is watching. The thought hung in the air, cutting through his despair. He thought about all the nights he had spent working, learning, and trying. He thought about the small flicker of hope that refused to die. Was he really going to let it all go now? He looked at his trembling hands. They were weak, but they were also the hands that had built and rebuilt his dream 100 times. He looked at his reflection in a shard of broken metal. His eyes were red, but behind the tears, a familiar spark of determination was starting to glow again. Slowly, shakily, Arjun stood up. His body ached and his heart felt heavy, but he walked over to his workbench. He picked up his last remaining gear, a spare he had almost forgotten about. With hands that still trembled but a heart that was now resolute, he began to work one last time. He wasn't fueled by excitement anymore, but by a quiet, stubborn resolve. He methodically replaced the broken part, checked every connection, and tightened every bolt. Then, with a final deep breath that held the weight of all his past efforts, he reached for the switch. He didn't close his eyes this time. He watched. He flipped it. There was a click, followed by a soft, steady hum. Then, a worry sound. A small light on the machine flickered to life, casting a warm glow across his astonished face. Cogs began to turn, levers began to move, and the machine, his dream machine, roared to life. It worked. It actually worked. That single, glorious moment of success was so powerful, it erased the memory of all the pain, all the doubt, and all the failure. The laughter of his critics faded into nothingness. The mountain of failed prototypes in the corner no longer looked like a monument to his defeats, but like the steps he had climbed to reach this peak. Arjun's machine, born from over 100 failures, went on to help hundreds of people in his community, performing a task that had once been difficult and time-consuming. He became known not as Arjun the dreamer, but as Arjun the inventor. Years later, when a young journalist asked him about his incredible journey, they asked, "How did you find the strength to keep going after failing more than 100 times?" Arjun simply smiled, a knowing, gentle smile. "Oh," he said, "I didn't fail 100 times. I just found 100 ways that didn't work." That shift in perspective is everything. Failure isn't a final verdict. It's a part of the process. It's the data you collect on your way to success. Every no you hear, every door that closes, every attempt that falls short is just teaching you another way that doesn't work, pushing you one step closer to the one way that will. So the next time you feel like you're drowning in failure, the next time the world tells you to quit, remember Arjun. Remember his workshop, his whisper in the dark, and his unshakable belief in just one more try. The darkness is where you are forged. Your defining moment might be just one more try away. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires and empowers. I'd love to hear about a time you persevered, so please share your story in the comments below. Until next time, keep trying.